Of all the miseries visited on Afghanistan, drug addiction is perhaps the least talked about. The country that supplies heroin to 90% of the world's addicts now has 1 million addicts of its own. And now an increasing number of Afghan women are becoming addicts too. How do they take it?
Eating with tea. Not smoking.
50p buys you a gram of heroin here. On the streets of London, the same amount will cost £50. It's 10 a.m. and the medical reality of addiction is setting in. Local medical workers from the German charity GTZ have come to tend to the junkies' abscesses caused by shooting dirty heroin. This is the only outreach service available and their future funding is under threat. They also hand out condoms and clean syringes. 2008 saw an explosion of HIV here, often spread through sharing needles. But there are those that make it through to detox. It's lunchtime, and in a clinic across town, these two men are going cold turkey. Can we ask how he feels?
He's better.
How long has he been here?
چند روز است اینجاستی for this.
And you feeling he doesn't have the hunger anymore?
مگه آل چیز است قهر چیز نمیکنی؟
It's not just men who battle with addiction. These women, begging from behind their veils, are a new sight in Afghanistan. There are at least 130,000 female drug addicts in the country. Children too are not exempt. The Afghan government says 70,000 of them are now hooked on drugs.
Addiction is a huge problem for women here. It's shameful.
This clinic is especially for female addicts. The two women on the left are registering for the first time. They turn their faces away as soon as they see my camera.
How do they take it? Eating with tea. Not smoking. Do not make an account.
تریاکم یک دو زن است دوست میکنه طرف چیسته طرف خیمه دیاره.
Most of the women are depressed. They feel very sad. Some of them come here and they're suicidal. They say they've lost the will to live, and it's only their children who prevent them from committing suicide.
Most women cite the trauma of war as the reason they turn to drugs. But war is not new here. What has changed is the availability of the drugs. Afghanistan today is saturated with opium. Women's drug use is usually kept secret and hidden at home. Most male addicts end up living on the street. Here, junkies shoot up in broad daylight as a child looks on. At night they come here, one of only 2 night shelters in the whole of Kabul. It's 8 p.m. and dinner is served. This is what it's like to be down and out in Kabul. After dinner, they're obliged to listen to a lecture from the centre's director, all about the psychological damage caused by heroin.
مثلا قبل از اینکه معتاد بودی یک چیزی بودی کار میکردی به جامعه، با مردم خدمت میکردی، با فامیل خدمت میکردی، با خود خدمت میکردی. ولی وقتی که معتاد شدی آره خدمت کردن نمیتونی. این چی است؟ تغییر شخصی.
But his talk seems to fall on deaf ears. Most of the addicts are too high to hear him. Before the war on terror, before the West invaded Afghanistan, drug use here was at an all-time low. Today it is worse than it's ever been. And each day over 1 million lost souls choose oblivion rather than face the new Afghanistan.